Yo, what is going up, everybody? It's Rafi back with another video, and today I'm gonna be doing the essential anime slash manga tier list. And today I got with me two very special guests, two friends of the channels. Thanks for coming out, guys. You want to introduce yourselves?
Go ahead, Dice.
I'm Dice. I am Matt's son. I'm basically him but smaller.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't really got much to say. Thank you for having me on, though.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
pleasure, man.
I appreciate it.
All right, getting into it. We have Beck, the Mongolian Chop Squad. Have you guys read it? Have you had any experience with the series?
The only time I've actually ever heard of Beck was from from like recommendations in my comments, and it was introduced to me by Prod. It was like a Dark Souls YouTuber. I had him on for a video that I did, where I asked him what his top 5 anime and manga are, and one of them was Beck. So I haven't read this yet. That's usually how it goes with a lot of the manga out there. It's like I haven't read them yet, so I can't give any opinion on this one.
Yeah, nah. I've had this. Actually, this is one I've had recommended to me quite a bit, I think. But nah, I haven't checked this one out.
I've read it. I'm like 26 volumes in, and it's like really, really good. Like for a music manga, and the fact that you're actually reading music, it's honestly something else. The music industry is portrayed really good. The characters are straight up amazing, distinct personalities, great designs, amazing aesthetic. Actually, one of the characters rocked a MF Doom top on in one of the chapters, which is also really
That's
cool.
pretty dope.
Yeah, yes, sir. So yeah, Beck is like really good. It's kind of sad that a lot of people aren't really on it and they haven't read it, but it really deserves more hype. Is it fine if we go
Right.
with it in A tier?
I mean, so I think the way we can go about this, that way it's not an entire mess, is like if only one person has read it, we're just gonna have to take their word for it, because neither of us can give a legitimate opinion on it, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to put it like you just put it where you want, because I can't tell you like no,
Oh yeah.
So just put it where you think it belongs.
All right, sounds good. A tier it is. Next one we have anime. My youth romantic comedy is wrong as I expected. Have you guys had any experience with this?
No,
Hold
I
on,
actually
can-
thought this was.
Scroll down a little bit.
All right.
So was this a tier list you made, or was this a tier list that you found?
Oh, I asked someone to make it for me.
Oh yeah, you guys told him to make it, right? He makes my tier list, so.
Gotcha. So this is the essential anime manga tier list.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I thought this was Classroom of the Elite. The next one, it's not.
Yeah, it's about basically this guy. He hates life, and so like he writes
S tier. No, S tier. No, it's that.
he writes an essay about how socializing is shit and everybody's just blinded by it, and then his teacher forces him to join this club where he has to get a social life, and then eventually the club, he basically helps people out with their problems, and then eventually he grows from like this very apathetic and very kind of edgy teenager to someone very mature and a really great main character. I loved it. It's my favorite. It's
How
my
many
third favorite
chapters
now.
is it? That actually sounds really interesting.
3 seasons. It's a light novel. It's like 6.
Light novel, and like that, you've lost me. Continue.
All right. I'll put this in S.
An S. Nice. Okay. All right. So I'll definitely keep that in mind. I want to get into light novels, but eventually.
Yeah. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it. I'll save mine for last.
God. All right. Dice, do you have anything to say about Fullmetal?
Okay, so I've read a third of this, so discount my opinion if you don't think I can speak. I thought it was solid. I bet like if I read the rest of it, I'd like it, but it was just like a B tier. It was still just like a pretty normal shonen to me. I didn't think it was. I didn't really get why everybody was like, "Oh my god, this is groundbreaking." I think also it could be that the fan base hypes it up just way too much. That like I was expecting something like the Second Coming to be in this manga, but yeah, it was not that.
I'm gonna say I can't give a legitimate opinion. I would to spite Full Metal fans, but I dropped it like 17 episodes in, for the same reasons Dice says. Like it was something that while I was watching it, I just didn't. I thought it was right, but my goodness, in 17 episodes was it a bit slow. And I don't mind slow-paced stories. I just mean it was a bit slow in where it was going, and like I was expecting a
Yeah.
much better dynamic between Edward and Alphonse. It just felt like Alphonse was just there most of the
Yeah.
time. When I was really hoping for more, although they do dive into him, like, getting his body back and what it's like to be in his new body, but not to the extent I may have liked. But like I said, I can't give a solid opinion on it, so I'm not gonna give any rating or ranking for it.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is my favorite piece of media and freaking everything, like novels, anime, manga. It was one of the first anime I saw. I knew nothing about it. I was just scrolling through Netflix, and then I saw this. It looked cool. Then I watched it, and it completely blew me away. Amazing cast, great main character. Freaking the philosophy in it of equivalent exchange is amazing, and the ending is just so damn good. So I definitely, you guys need to get back into it because it's really solid.
Is it one of those things like Code Geass where it's like the ending is what really
Oh no.
like?
Well, the ending is the quote-unquote peak of the story because the last arc is like really good, but Full Metal for the majority, like lots of Full Metal
Gotcha.
fans will agree that it's not like a peak story like Attack on Titan where there's a certain level of quality, then it just peaks to an extremely high. It rather keeps this same level of quality, but yeah, the ending is like really good.
Gotcha. Okay.
You guys,
Yeah, it's one of those series I want to get back into, but
Yeah,
every
I
time
know.
every time I hear like Full Metal fans like spam every manga that or like every anime that goes above it
Oh yeah.
with like one, I'm like, oh yeah, never mind.
I know Augie recently picked it up again, and he liked it more than he was, like kind of thought how we did of it before, and he liked it more. So maybe I'll pick it up again.
you guys fine with me putting it in absolute favorite?
Like I
sure,
said, I
it's your
can't
number
give
one.
I can't give a yeah, I
Yeah,
can't.
and
give
mine's
a,
not that legit. So
All right,
You're
absolute.
talking about two
favorite.
people who haven't finished it, so
Absolute favorite it is.
go crazy.
Alright, One Punch Man. I haven't actually. I bought volume 1 and then I just read that, but I haven't continued, so it's up to you guys.
oh, I think it's I want to put it in S because I really like it, especially with Murata's art. It's like amazing and it's just really enjoyable all around. Are we
Right.
talking manga or anime? Like, are we
You-
going off
you
the
can do
picture that's
both.
there, or are we?
I would say the
Okay.
manga because the manga's a lot better. The
So
manga
yeah,
is a
we'll
lot
just go
better
off
for
the
One
best
Punch
version
Man.
of it then. Okay.
I think One Punch Man is now, mind you, I'm behind on One Punch Man, so like
I'm behind by like 10 chapters.
okay,
So
I'm fine
unless
with
it
S.
took, yeah,
I'm
unless
fine
it
with
took a
S or-
drastic dip
yeah.
in those 10 chapters, it's an S in my opinion. It's just
Yeah,
overall super.
I think at
super fun.
least high A, but I'm fine with it being an S.
Alright, sounds good. One Piece.
I'm gonna just keep my mouth shut.
Yo, Dice, that recent video. What do you have to
Yeah,
say,
I've been
Dice?
feeling like masked lately with that video. So I'm just gonna go with A.
A's here. I mean, I'm like on episode 437 of the anime. I like One Piece. Eni's Lobby was S tier, and it's been really good.
Right.
So I'm fine with S. I don't really. It hasn't really.
I think
shocked me.
honestly, One Piece, because see, people didn't really get what I was trying to say with that Wano video. I said Wano was kind of like the reason it's fallen, right? But Wano was more like the catalyst to make me look back at the entirety of post time skip and be like, I'm just not enjoying reading One Piece like I used to. Like, it's just not as fun for me. So that's why it's not my number 2 series anymore. And honestly, like, because half the series I think is significantly weaker. Like you said, you're 400 chapters in or 400 episodes, and all of pre-time skip is like an easy 9 out of 10. It's so fun to read. However, post-time skip, not that a 7 out of 10 is bad, but it's like it wavers from a 6 to 7 out of 10, with there being some good moments. I'm not trying to generalize the whole thing. So I think it's anywhere from like it could range from an S to a B based on how you're feeling, but I think an A is just like a pretty fair spot for it.
Yeah, I think. A
I
tier.
have it at an A tier. But it's that's all I'm gonna say. I have it at an A tier. I think it's a really solid shonen. I give it its props for what it does, but for me, I have like Bleach and Naruto at A tier, and I don't have One Piece above Bleach or Naruto.
Oh, damn.
Which I know isn't a popular opinion, but then again, you know how people tend to be. They get all big brain when it comes to analyzing One Piece, but then nah, Naruto and Bleach are generic and have like 5-year-old writing. Okay, bitch. All right, that's how you want to do it. Nah, but yeah, like One Piece, I think is A. If you want to lob it up in S, like listen, it's deserving of S or at least A. But I don't have it above One Punch Man, and One Punch Man we have an S, and so One Piece is. If we put it in S, I put it below One Punch Man.
Yeah, I think A is fine for One Piece. Sounds good. Bakuman. I haven't read this. I don't really have.
I haven't read it either, but so many people have recommended me it, telling me it's so good.
Okay, I was one of those people, Mask, and I'm kind of hurt you haven't read it because this is my #1 series.
Is it?
It means a ton to me, honestly, because like the whole message of kind of motivating yourself and trying to become something, but it's not like a typical shonen, like you're trying to become the strongest or the best at something. It's realistic because they want to become the #1 mangaka. So it's basically real life. They just want to do really well in their dream career. So I think it's like really inspiring in that sense. So the one thing I can say, Bakuman is not for everybody, and I'm not going to pretend like it is. It's very wordy, and if it's not your sense of humor, you're going to hate it. Because I've had people DM me like, Bakuman's trash, why do you like it? And I'm like, first of all, why are you DMing me? Like, I'm the Bakuman man, you have to talk to me. And also, like, fine, it's not for everybody. It can be wordy at times. Some people don't like the humor to it. I personally love the humor and love the wordiness. I reread it pretty much annually, and for that reason, I think it's my absolute favorite, so I would love for it to be there. But, I mean, if you guys can't speak on it, or if you guys don't want it there, that's fine too, so.
I mean, like, neither of us can speak on it, so it goes where you say.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my absolute favorite.
Alright.
Author of Death Note, right?
Yeah, author of Death Note and Platinum End. I don't know if you checked Platinum End out, Mass, but,
No, not
yeah.
yet.
Is it the writer of Death Note or just the artist? Because Death Note has...
It's both.
Oh, it's both. I might have to actually check that out because I love Death Note. Alright,
Oh, shoot.
Prison School. I've only seen...
I have heard terrible things about Prison School. I've seen it has great artwork in very interesting ways, but...
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Can't speak.
Actually,
Can't speak on the next, like,
I
3,
saw
actually.
the anime in VC with the homies, like 10 episodes, and it's funny. It's like funny as fuck. It's hilarious. And there's like fan service, but it's not over the top, and it's not like forced. It's fan service that'll make you laugh. It's just so goddamn funny. Like I could put it in S, but I'm more feeling like an A. So I think, but I heard like from manga readers, Prison School has the worst ending ever. Like the worst ending there is known to man. Yeah, I think.
Well, again, you put it where you want, because I haven't read it yet, just because like I've heard it's very mixed, and I feel like that's how it tends to be with some comedy series. Other than Grand Blue and Kaguya-sama, I think most other comedy series are very hit or miss. When it comes to the public opinion of them, you'll have some people like, "Oh, this is one of the greatest manga ever," and then I've heard like some really bad things, but that's just what I've heard. So again, I can't speak on this one.
Yeah, I think Prison School in A is fine. But yeah, most comedy are really mixed. So yeah, I'll go.
Hold on. I know in the essential anime manga tier list, I'm not looking at the Bunny Senpai anime, am I?
You are.
Rascal is not true, Bunny Girls.
All right.
Clannad.
Nice.
I haven't seen.
Oh
Clannad.
yeah. All I know about Clannad is it's the series I stay away from because it has, as I call it, the Boku no Pico art style. So haven't watched it.
Smart man.
I wanna watch it because everyone I talk to tells me it'll make you cry. Because so far, I've never encountered an anime and or manga that has made me cry. Like, some emotional things have even made me want to laugh because it's so over the top. So Clannad is just... It's the one emotional series I'm looking out for.
Clannad, I don't know if I'd cry for, because Yu Yu Hakusho was the only series I cried. Well, didn't cry, I teared up. I haven't actually, like, full-on cried to a series. Pun Pun, I thought I would, but honestly, like, I think Pun Pun's kind of funny most times. And then, like, there's, like, a couple moments where I'm like, damn.
Nah. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Alright, guys, you and I have to have a very serious talk after this. Anyways, throw Clannad. How did you... okay, I could kind of get it because Pun Pun can get kitty like kind of wild, you know, like it's like it does something you're like, yo, what the what, you know? So I get that, but fun. All right, bro.
I'll talk to you about it later. I'll talk to you.
Yeah. All right. Go. Yeah.
Have you guys seen Steins Gate or played the visual novel? Do you have any experiences with
I've had so many people recommend it to me. I promise I'll watch Steins Gate. I promise. I promise.
Damn.
Steins Gate is like I also had everyone recommending it to me, telling me it's better than Death Note, it's better than Code Geass. But when I ended up watching it, I was like really underwhelmed because it just didn't.
People do that so much, right? Like they take anything that's slightly psychological and just say it's the better Death Note or it's the better Code Geass. People call Monster that, and I'm like, Monster's just not Death Note. It just say it's an amazing series, like.
Right. Yeah. I think it's just the easy thing to do because when I first got into Monster, like Death Note was the only other thing I could even
I
knew of, you know. But like, no, yeah, it definitely isn't an accurate description to say none the least. But I think it's one of those things though where like I don't know, like you have to get into a series for like the series, you know. Like just like okay, let me see what this series has to offer. Like don't. Because, like, if everyone told me, like, every manga was better than Berserk, when I read it, they're just setting it up for failure, you know? I think that's, like, the worst thing to do, to tell somebody that, like, oh, this manga is, like, oh, yeah, it's way better than, like, because it's just, you can't even compare, like, two series entirely, like, spade for spade, so. Anyways, rambling, but, yeah, I can't speak on Steins Gate yet, either.
I'm feeling beats here because episode 23 of Steins Gate is actually one of the best. It had me on the edge of my seat. Like, I literally stood up and I was, like, screaming because of how hype it was. So, I think beats here is respectable for Steins Gate. I think that's alright. Dragon Ball.
I think Dragon Ball, if we're going from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z, because Dragon Ball is just one continuing manga, I think it's a solid B tier manga. I think it is because I would be okay lobbing it in A, but I have One Piece a little bit above it. So I think Dragon Ball, if we're gonna put it, has to be like highest of B, low A.
So for me, I really love Dragon Ball Z. Like the original Dragon Ball, if that was all we were talking about here, S for me, like super easily. However, since we're talking about Z2, I think it kind of goes to like an A, because Z definitely gets a little repetitive. The one thing I can say though is from start to finish, it's just the paneling is amazing. Like the fight scenes are really kind of what carries it, and that's coming from somebody that just doesn't really like fight scenes. Like I could kind of take them or leave them.
I mean,
more like
it is a fighting manga, so like I would hope the fight scenes carry it. You know.
True. But yeah. Even more than other manga. Like, the fight scenes are just amazing. Even more than other fighting manga that I've had glimpses of.
Right.
Paneling's just fantastic. So I think for that alone, it should go in A. So yeah.
I'm fine with lobbing it in A. I would have it, like, low... Well, it doesn't really matter. Just lob it in A. Because, yeah, it's more than just the paneling. Like, the fights themselves and everything about them, like, the way that they're written is so well done.
Characters are great,
when you talk about... Yeah, like, when you talk about... I mean, just Gohan's entire development in Dragon Ball, right? And then you continue onwards, and then you have Piccolo, who has his entire character arc from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z. You have Vegeta, you know. So it's one of those things where when you talk about like Gohan Super Saiyan 2 versus Cell, Goku versus Frieza, Goku versus Vegeta in the Saiyan Saga, Goku versus Vegeta and the Buu arc, right? And then you talk about all the fights in the original Dragon Ball, like Goku versus King Piccolo. Like, you're talking some of the best fights in all of Shonen, you know? So it's weird for me because I think Dragon Ball is one of those manga where people try to take points away from it because it isn't what they want it to be, you know? Like, you can't deduct points from Dragon Ball because it isn't psychological. Like, it's not a psychological series. It's a battle shonen. And if it does battles better than anybody else, then or almost better than anybody else,
and I really also hate when people will like say Dragon Ball is like either repetitive or has no story, because it's just like it does. Like, it simply does have a story. So I mean,
right? It is weird when people try to say it has no plot. Like, you do realize like a story is a plot.
Did you watch it? Like, you know things happen in it, and like
right.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I grew up watching Dragon Ball. It was like 8 years ago, and then recently when I got back to like anime manga in 2019, I just used to slander it. Like all the things you've been bringing up, it's not psychological. It doesn't have plot. I just used to say that for troll. So so yeah. So I don't really have a say on this because it's been way too long since I've seen it. So yeah,
Right.
A tier.
Right. I say A.
I say
It's
A, yeah.
Because I think it's one of those things too, where like it's been for some people, it might be like a long time since they've like seen Dragon Ball, and I hate like the nostalgia argument because then you could equally use recency bias. It's like with Dragon Ball, like that's a series I keep reading. Like I go back and read Dragon Ball sometimes. Like so.
Same, yeah. Like I would put it in S tier just personally. I know we're not putting it in there here, but just personally, I would be down to put it in S tier because like it is. I think my second series I ever. My first was One Punch Man, but the second thing I ever. Well, third actually, because there's one other. But all right, I keep changing that. But nonetheless, it was one of the very early things. It was the first manga I read from start to finish that really like I counted as getting me into anime and manga kind of thing. So for that bias, I feel like I could put it in S, and I just love it. Like I go back and read it sometimes, like you said, just because the Saiyan Saga is probably my favorite arc ever. Like I really like it.
Oh
yeah,
favorite arc ever.
Yeah.
I might actually have to give it a second chance.
Well, I'm not saying it's the best arc ever. Don't get that mixed up. But no, I'm just saying it like I really just love the Saiyan Saga. Just love reading it.
I will say this though, like I think it because of how iconic it is, because it transcended the point of like famous. Like it's iconic, like the concept of the Super Saiyan. But like that's literally one of the most well done transformations ever. Like we take it for granted, but Saiyan Saga or not Saiyan Saga, the Super Saiyan like is one of the most well executed like power ups ever.
People trash on that too. They're like, oh, it's just power up after power up. Like no, it's really not.
Yeah, it builds up to his power ups. I think once you get into like Super
definitely has a little bit of a decline, but
yeah.
Even the manga is really solid right now.
Z builds up a good bit, when it comes to its to like where it Yeah, never mind. Just cut that out. No, my brain froze.
All right. Here it is. Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul. Have you guys read it? I think Mast, you made a video about it.
Mast has. I haven't.
Yep.
Well, what did you think about it?
S tier. I think Tokyo Ghoul is so great as a manga. Like if we're taking these series at their like best form, right? Without a doubt, like Tokyo Ghoul as a manga is S tier. Its art style is great. Kaneki is a superb protagonist. I mean, you're talking about a character who shows vulnerability, emotions on all spectrum. He's believable. Like it's great, And I think Tokyo Ghoul is something that people might look at and just try to dismiss it with its like edgy tone sometimes, but it's truly so good with how it handles its characters and the emotions. It has great fights. It's great. And even though Ri sometimes gets messy, especially near the ending, I think it has so many great moments in it as well. Like I think Tokyo Ghoul as a manga is an S tier manga,
Yeah. Tokyo Ghoul is my favorite manga of all time. The atmosphere is it's done to the utmost best. Amazing cast of characters, great females, like you said, Kaneki is freaking amazing. I do admit, like, the antagonist cost aren't the best. Like Furuta, you could look at Furuta and you could analyze a lot, but I think he had a bit, like, way too little screen time. Like, I feel like he should have been characterized and looked at a bit more. And although it does kind of fall off a bit through the end, Kaneki's character is still amazing from start to finish. So I actually want to put Tokyo Ghoul in absolute favorite. Y'all
go ahead, knock yourself out. Because I have it in S. If you have an absolute favorite, unless Dice has it like D tier, then we can't.
I've never read it, so.
Okay, all right, so then you're good.
That's going to be a common theme, don't worry. I haven't read or watched as much as some may think.
Have you guys?
No, listen, bro. Like a lot of the stuff that I read isn't on here, but like I think we've gotten all the stuff that I haven't read out of the way, or if not the majority.
Oh, not for me.
Oh
damn.
I don't even recognize some of these. I'm not gonna lie.
Hajime no Ippo. Next one.
Oh,
I'm only 30 chapters in on Ippo.
I'm 100 chapters in. I don't know.
I really want to read Ippo.
You should.
I probably would have done it if it wasn't for the length, honestly.
but it's like so easy to read. Like it's like
Is it a
Tokyo
fast read?
Revenger. Yeah, it's like Tokyo
It is.
Revenger.
It is a fast read. Like I went through those 30 chapters really quick. I just haven't read more because I'm busy sometimes, you know. But
Okay.
Yeah, I think I want to put this in NA because I don't really like rating something when I'm like just into it or like in the middle. So yeah, I
yeah,
think,
put NA. Yeah, I think that's the smart thing to do because with a series that's like 1,000 chapters long, yeah, there's no way we could genuinely give like a.
yeah. Have you guys checked out the Fate series, like the anime or the visual
No,
novels?
I really want to though.
You haven't? What about you,
No.
Ness?
I haven't either. I'm sorry.
Oh my! You guys need to watch this. It's like peak throughout. Like Fate Zero
Yeah, I
has.
have a friend named Kobe, and it's his favorite series, and I love Kobe, so I want to watch it for him.
All right,
I
yeah.
usually be with the homies.
I might as well put Fate in S because Fate Zero, one of the greatest stories ever, and I think this is even better than Griffith's. Kiritsugu, the main character, has the greatest portrayal of the philosophy of utilitarianism. It's like really, from start to finish, Fate is just amazing. So, yeah, I'm putting an absolute favorite. You guys should definitely check it out. Real, haven't read this actually. Only,
S. Lob it in S. Lob it in S.
what about you guys?
It's such a good manga.
I also
Oh.
haven't read it. Just give it to Matt.
So let me sell this, right? So Slam Dunk is something that's a lot more lighthearted, and it's a great basketball manga nonetheless, right? And Real is still ongoing. So the thing is with Real, what makes it so special is that for a sports series, for it to go into the the psychology of an athlete when they can no longer play their sport at times, like it's wheelchair basketball predominantly, right? And it's made me cry so many times because it takes what sports are, what they are to you as a person, and they make these characters so like no pun intended, but real. You know, you become so invested in the growth of these characters because you feel as if this character can't make it, what am I gonna do? You know, and so once again, we all know how his artwork is like it's great, but Real is such a good. It might be boring to some. Like that's the only thing I could say is for some it might be boring. But if that's not an issue with you and you don't get bored easily, it's oh my goodness, it's beautiful. It's
Alright.
really beautiful. You follow like the perspective of 3 different characters. One who basically loses his ability to walk, one who regrets his past, and the other one who plays wheelchair basketball. So
Yeah.
that's kind of
Yeah,
the
I think
how it
S is
starts off.
perfect for Real. It's the only Inoue work I haven't actually checked out. I really need to get to it. But yeah, S for Real.
top of S.
Alright.
Yeah, there we go.
3
There we
Days
go.
of Happiness.
That's another one. Yeah, I love that one in S as well.
Yeah, I'll put
That
it
one's
in
so
S
good.
too.
Like I'm someone who I really enjoy, even though I appreciate long running series. I mean, like I loved Bleach, Naruto, like One Piece is great as well. But for a story to be able to emotionally invest in me, make me cry, make me feel something in a short amount of time is so impressive. Like it's so impressive. It's like a lightning in a bottle type essence, you know? And that's how series are. Some build their strengths off of how they do things in a limited amount of time. Other series, they build off of the grand, cast and world that they build, right? 3 Days of Happiness. If you have a manga that you want to read quickly, get out of the way, and have oh man, it's so good. It's so good. It tackles like the theme of living and the importance of life and why like your life is basically invaluable and finding love. Like it tackles all of that in 16 chapters, and it's so good. So good.
Yeah, for
I'm
what
very
it,
passionate about this one.
what it chooses to take and bring to life in 16 chapters is absolutely brilliant. Like you said,
Yeah.
how it tackles the meaning of life, how money is actually nothing compared to human life, and how life can change at any point in time. It's really excellent for what it done
Right.
in 16 chapters. So yeah, I'm fine with it being second in S.
Nice.
What about you
I'm fine
guys?
with that too.
I haven't read it.
Alright.
Big surprise, I know.
20th Century Boys. I haven't read this.
I really like this series.
I've heard so many good things about it, you know.
S. I love it in S. It has a 16 chapter extension, called 21st
Oh, yeah,
Century Boys,
21st,
which
yeah.
really helps smooth over the ending. And I've heard some people who aren't the biggest like fan of Friend as an antagonist, but I think they miss the point when it comes to Friend, right? He's meant to be more of this entity, right? More of this symbol than he actually is this person. The whole point of figuring out his identity is to turn him into a person, essentially, because you can't beat an idea, you can't beat an entity, but you can kill a man, you know. So that's kind of like the whole mystery behind that, as well as like the protagonist of the story is, I love it. It's one of the slower Urasawa works, especially in the third act. I forget his name, but it starts with
Yeah,
Kenji,
I
right?
forget his name too.
Kenji, right?
Kenji. Yeah, I love Kenji.
Yeah, Kenji. So Kenji's dope, and then in the third act of 20th Century Boys, it gets a little slow, but I think it's Urasawa's ability to make a really solid cast of characters and have them all like interconnect with each other, which is what he does as an author, you know. And for anyone who tries to throw this out against Monster or 20th Century Boys, saying there are a lot of plot conveniences, like, take that stupid argument and shove it up your ass, because there's so many series that have plot. Every series has plot conveniences that you have to accept, right? Different levels of it, mind you, but whatever. 20th Century Boys is S.
All right, S it is. Second, third, first. Which one are you going with?
I go second. I think it's second.
All right. Black Clover. What do you guys have to say about this?
So, I'ma just say like B or C.
Yeah.
I'm not caught up on the recent stuff in the manga. The last time I left off was like almost a year ago. And then I thought it was like a B or C tier manga, because I think it's gonna be one of those series that its strength is gonna be kind of like One Piece, where it's gonna be so ongoing and long that then it becomes the world that the author has built. But Black Clover doesn't have the same amount of length yet. I think Asta as a protagonist is fine. I find Yuno as a rival character to be pretty bad for the early parts of Black Clover. He feels like he has no character outside of just being Asta's rival. But then they fix that. Zora's a dope character. Solid antagonist in the series. Like Julius is dope. And there was the Dark Elf arc, if I'm not mistaken.
Elf Reincarnation.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was it. I think that's a good arc. I think the artwork is at least like the covers are but for the most part. But the artwork in Black Clover, it has some really stunning panels, I think. And you know, it's heavily inspired off of Berserk. So for me, it's always a treat to see the references here and there. So you know, I'm fine with throwing Black Clover in B. You know, I'm fine with that.
What about you, Dice?
I've kind of the same thoughts. I did drop it, so if you want to discount my opinion, that's fine. It wasn't like a bad drop though. This happens a lot.
How far did you get in when you drop it?
I don't remember. I was like, it wasn't. I'm not gonna like
an estimate. Like early on, 100 chapters in, 200 chapters in. 50.
I think I was around a midway kind of thing. Where I wasn't I wasn't like early, but I still wasn't like to the recent stuff.
Gotcha,
like if I was in the community, if I was seeing people's tweets, I probably wouldn't get them still. But like I knew what was going on, kind of thing.
Right,
but,
I feel you.
So I was just kind of like, I enjoy it. It's fun, but like it was a little too I hate when people make this argument, but I kind of feel like I gotta make it. It was a little too typical, you know. Like I felt like I kind of just like.
You could predict everything that's about to happen.
Yeah, that, and it felt tropey. Like I couldn't stop myself from being like, oh, this is like Naruto, or oh, this is like One Piece, or oh, this is like this series, that series. Like I kept doing that in my head, and I know that's a terrible thing to do, and I hate that I was doing it, but like I couldn't help myself, you know, which is kind of what's happening. So I wasn't enjoying it as much. So I was like, I like it, but I'll come back to it later. I was enjoying it. I definitely dislike it, but so I agree with B.
I will say it has a solid cast. Like the Black Bulls are solid. I like it.
I liked Asta. People call him annoying, but
yeah, he's fine. He's fine. I just think it was like an anime thing. Like the Black Clover anime came out, and then the slander just never stopped from there. You know.
Yeah.
I have a very complex relationship with the series, because it has like a special place in my heart, because it was one of the first anime I ever saw, and I loved it. And then when I started my channel, like, because I liked Black Clover a whole lot and I was caught up to the manga, I started doing like spoiler videos where you covered the spoilers and the leaks and stuff. And then I did that for like 4 months, and then it was pretty stressful because I had to wake up like early, like at 4 a.m. on Thursdays to like cover it, and I had school and stuff. So because I was so like, I was so fixated on it, and like I got burnt out of it basically. And then I started to hate it basically, cause like
Oh.
I was so into it. It kind of sounds weird, but I hope you get what I mean. So yeah,
Yeah, I get
You got burnt
that
out with
happens
it.
with songs a lot, where you'll listen to a song and you love it, but you listen to it too much and you start hating it. Like, I can relate to that.
yeah. So after doing like all the chapter reviews and spoilers, I'm just like, I hate this. Like, I got too into it, if that makes sense. So I think B or C is fine. B tier it is, right?
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
cool with
I
it.
think both of us would be.
Yeah.
Alright. Tokyo
Oh, boy.
Revengers. Oh, this is
Have
so
fun,
good,
Matt.
man.
This, yeah, I have it in A, high A. I think it's a series that the reason it's gone down a good bit on my list isn't because it's bad. I'm just so up in the air with the current direction it's taking. You know, like it's not something where like before the recent arc, like with all the Mikey stuff and then all that. Like it was like, okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure the series is gonna end. Like, oh, this is great. Like from start to finish. Now it's like I'm kind of up in the air. I like the characters it's introducing, but I'm like, okay, how is it gonna wrap all of this up? Where is it going? And so because of that, I'm a little iffy on the direction currently, but I still think it's like a high A tier manga. It was weird for me because when I covered it, I'm pretty sure I was one of the only people who talked about it on YouTube before the anime came out. I'm pretty sure there were a few others though, but like it was such an underappreciated gem, and then now it's like mainstream, right? So with that, you tend to have people who come along and grossly undersell a series. So like with Tokyo Revengers, I think Takemichi's a great protagonist. I think he has a great cast, great fights, and it's one of those reads that I call urgent reads. And what I mean by that is like when you pick it up, it's hard to put down. Like,
yeah.
once you get invested, you're like, okay, I need to see what happens next. Other series you read and then you take a little bit of a break, whatever. Now, like Tokyo Revengers is one of those that you can't like stop reading. So for all that, I have it in A.
Tokyo Revengers is fantastic. Amazing premise that you won't find that the Tokyo Revengers story anywhere else. Great cast of characters. Takemichi, I'm gonna come out and say it, like, it's actually spoiling my next video, but he is the best shonen main character for me at the moment. So yeah, I really love Tokyo Revengers, and yeah, a lot of people say it could have ended at Tenjiku, but I kind of like where it's going, like with the direction as Mikey as the kind of final antagonist. Slight spoilers, but I think I like the direction it's going, and if Takemichi and Mikey can have an amazing final duel, then I think it will end up in absolute favorite. So I'd actually put Tokyo Revengers in S.
Okay.
Have you read it, Dice?
No, and Tokyo Revengers, people talk about the art a lot, but I don't really get it. Like, it looks a little messy to me. The whole series, like, I just don't really have a desire to get into it. I don't know why. The premise hasn't really interested me, none of it. So I mean, I haven't gotten into it, but I'm sure I will eventually, and I'll probably like it because everybody loves it, and I'm not that hard to please. But
the art is actually really good. Like, there are some stellar panels, like when Takemichi is going on about loneliness, that entire speech and the entire fight with
The Taiju fight was nuts.
yeah.
what is that one panel where he has like his eyes all swollen up on both eyes actually, and
Yeah,
like he's
it's that one.
smiling?
I'm
Everybody
pretty sure
points
that's
at
the
that
Taiju
panel.
fight, right?
Yeah, that's the Taiju fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people point to that panel of being like great. I just like I don't know.
The
It's probably just
context,
a
you just don't
subjective
know the
thing.
context.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's
Like
probably that. It's
you
probably
can't.
that, yeah.
Most panels you can't take on unless the artwork is phenomenal, right? You
Yeah.
can't take a panel out of its context and be like, yeah, this is peak fiction, and here's why. It's like you're just showing me one panel out of 100 in
Yeah.
a chapter, possibly. So I'm fine with Tokyo Revengers like low S if you want to do that,
Yeah. S
because I have it high A.
Yeah, I
So.
just really hope the ending doesn't really fumble, but I have faith in the author. Mob. Have you guys seen Mob? Mob is amazing.
Oh yeah, I love
Love
Mob.
Psycho.
Yeah.
For an anime, I think it's definitely S tier.
It's my favorite. Yeah, it's my favorite anime purely. Like, from manga to anime, it's like really amazing too because it's such a not a bad manga, but you know what I mean.
You've read
The
it?
art's nothing crazy. So I've read half of the manga. I'm reading it like as it comes out in America here.
Oh.
So
We'll just
'cause, like,
go
I love it so
anime
much,
for
yeah.
this. Yeah,
So
we
yeah,
gotta
just
go
the
anime for this.
just the anime though, the way they translate it from the manga to the anime is why I say it's like probably the best anime adaptation because that manga art and the manga overall is just it's not bad because I love Mob Psycho, but honestly, if you were to pick it up, you probably wouldn't like it. So I think it's S just for that alone, and it's like everything
Wait,
about it,
but
the
this is your
animation style,
favorite.
the effects.
Okay,
This is my
so
favorite
would you say
anime purely, not my
it's
like.
your favorite anime? Then just throw it in absolute favorite. Because like if you have one for anime and then one for manga, I don't see why not just throw it
That's
in
true.
absolute favorite.
Yeah, I don't mind it an absolute favorite.
Mess, you see it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I have.
Oh, okay.
Absolute
Yeah.
favorite.
So I'm fine if you want to throw it in absolute favorite because I think it is a great anime. I will say though.
Yes.
Okay, never mind. We're good. We're good.
All
Never
right.
mind.
Oh yeah, last thing about Mob. Kind of an unpopular opinion, but I actually think season 1 is better than season 2, just by a little bit.
Ah,
But yeah,
they're equal for me. I just love the series. So.
yeah. Moving on, Pluto. What's your experience with Pluto?
Top of this.
Haven't read enough to speak on it, so.
Yeah, I'm reading it at the moment, like 3 volumes in, and it's pretty good. It's my first Urasawa work, and I have to say the atmosphere. He nailed it with the atmosphere. It's really good so far. But yeah, other than that, I can't really speak on it. So
I actually started reading it, and then if you know, I'm a huge Tezuka fan. Most people know that. That's kind of like my thing. And like I was reading it, and I was like, this just makes me want to go read Astro Boy. So I just started reading Astro Boy. So it kind of got lost in the mix there. But I do plan on picking it up. I was enjoying it.
oh yeah, so Mast, you said S tier, right?
Yeah.
Where exactly?
I have it above real and 20th century. Although like you could put 20th century, I don't really care. Like just top of S amidst those three. But yeah, it's fine. Right? Yeah, right. Yeah, whatever. So like it's one of those things where Pluto again, it's one of those series that does so much in such a little amount of time. Versus 20th Century Boys is Urasawa's longest work out of the ones that I've read. And Pluto's such a dope idea. You're talking about taking an arc from Astro Boy and turning it into a murder mystery. And he, like you said, he does nail the atmosphere. It does feel like a realistic, futuristic setting, which is hard to pull off. But like the idea of robots living amongst humans and the idea of humanity becoming more like robots while they try to make their robots more like humans was such a beautiful contrast. The idea of could a robot know what love is, what hate is, and how dangerous could they be if they knew what it was like to experience the emotions we have as people. And then on top of that, the mystery. Like it's such a good manga. So it was actually my little brother's first manga as well. So yeah, Pluto right there. I'm fine with that.
Oh damn, what would you rate the ending of Pluto?
I think Pluto's ending's solid. Urasawa's endings tend to have a little bit of ambiguity to them, which I really, really enjoy actually, because it makes some things free to interpretation. So I like the ending to Pluto.
All right, I think S tier is fine. My Hero, I think I'd put My Hero in a B. But what do you guys have to say?
I think A.
Yeah,
I
I
think
also
easily
say
A.
it's probably my bias, because I love superheroes. I love comics, like even more than manga. I got into them way earlier, so it could be that bias too. But I like, especially reflecting on it now. I don't know why I've been reflecting on it a lot. Probably because so many people are talking about it. I watched the anime, by the way, just for those who are wondering, and I really liked it. I like looking back; it's just enjoyable. It's not. I'm not gonna. It's not crazy. I think people overhate Deku as a protagonist a lot too, because they're like, "Oh, he's a crybaby." But the point kind of is that by the end, he shouldn't be a crybaby. Like that's kind of what's gonna happen. But either way, really like it.
Oh,
I think it's been on such an upward trend in the manga. Like it has been in such an upward trend for like the last year and a half. Like it's it's at least deserving of A. The artwork has been nothing but superb. Like Deku has made strides as a protagonist. Bakugo is a really solid character. Endeavor, I think, is another like top class side character. Shigaraki is an amazing antagonist. Like so, when you have all those components in a story that just line up like that, then it has to go A for me. And the fights are dope too. So I think My Hero does a great job as a manga. It is one of those things that does get its hate though for the fan base and automatically for how popular it is. but
Honestly, I feel like the
the
My Hero
series that
fan base has
hits all
gotten
the
slightly
strides.
better lately too.
No, that's because the anime has been so dog shit. They have nothing to talk about on
Okay,
Twitter.
fair. I feel like maybe it's also because other fan bases have gotten worse for me. I almost feel like the AOT fan base is kind of taking their place sometimes.
I
I
think it's
mean,
just
with
who
the
you surround yourself with, you know, or
That's
like what
true.
you
That's
run
true.
into, you know.
oh
Cause
yeah, My Hero, the manga is like really good. Like the war and My Villain Academia is something I never expected from this story. So
Right.
yeah, I'll give it his props for that. But the main problem I have with it is like the villains. They're amazing. Like Shigaraki twice, Dabi. And then Endeavor is also really solid. Hawks is cool. All Might was great. But then it's just the heroes, like the rest of them. They fall so flat for me. It's like I
Right.
wish Horikoshi could just take like some of the villains and kinda
I
translate
can
them well
though.
into heroes. Cause like the heroes are just so boring. What are you gonna
I
say?
can definitely give them props though for how creative the heroes are. Like some of the powers they have and the way that they do use them semi-practically is really really good.
Oh yeah,
no, but I get what you mean though. But I think that's due to the fact that like you can only focus on so many characters at once, you know, especially when you're trying to. When in your early half of the story you have All Might who kind of I don't want to this is gonna sound wrong but I don't want it to come off this way is so bear with me for a little bit but All Might when you have a character like All Might, right, someone who's there to take on the big bad guys, that stagnates the protagonist a little bit because every sort of feeling of threat or danger is going to be instantly taken care of by All Might. So then once My Hero kind of takes him out of the picture and makes him, you know, incapable in a way, then everybody else has to step up, right? You see JJK do this with the Shibuya incident arc, right? And I hope Boruto, because I'm not caught up on the Boruto manga, but I'm hoping it plans on doing that with Naruto, right? So that Boruto can hit his strides as a character. So, you know, once that happens, you know, I think some of the characters hit strides, but I will agree though that a lot of the other heroes do kind of fall flat. But regardless, I think A.
yeah. I think A tier is fine. Where would you put it? Above Dragon Ball or right at the end?
Below Dragon Ball.
All right.
Yeah.
Peak Tama. I don't care what you guys say. Peak Tama. Alright, actually, what do you guys say?
Y'all could talk about the anime. I'm like only still 80 episodes in on the anime, which I think so far has been really solid. Although at first the anime made me want to kill myself. The manga was the worst experience I ever had. Like I have not hated reading a manga more than I hated reading Gintama. Like when people said get into the anime, they were not lying about this one. So yeah, I'm fine. You put it where you want. Like I'm not far enough in to give a valid opinion on
Yeah,
it.
this is all you
And
reckon.
I despise the manga, so go ahead if you want to throw it in absolute favor. Go off.
I'll put it in S. I'm not done with it, so yeah, don't worry, Peak Tama fans. I got you. S tier. Ashita no Joe. Have you guys read this?
I haven't,
really
but
wanna
so many
read
people
this.
tell me like I need to read it because what is his
Yeah.
name? Like Joe Yabuki, Joe Fubuki,
Joe Yabuki, yeah.
Yabuki. Okay, Joe Yabuki. Yeah, like apparently he's such a great protagonist and.
Ashita no Joe is like really iconic, but not really overseas. Cause I read up on it and it's like, cause it came out post-war Japan, and like the story is very motivational. So I hear it like motivated a lot of people in Japan to move past the war and continue with their lives and stuff. So yeah, it's almost as iconic as Dragon Ball in its own right. So I really need to read it. But it's what
The
do you
main reason I want to read this is actually it's kind of a dumb reason, but in Bakuman they have they have a scene one time where they're talking about their favorite manga, and this is the main character's favorite manga. So
Oh, nice.
that's
That's
what like
pretty
made
dope.
me take interest in it initially. So then like from there I've seen so many good things, so I really really want to read this.
I hear it's like a boxing manga, but not like ippo where it focuses on like the culture surrounding boxing, but more just the main character and his motivations and stuff. So yeah, I think we'll have to put this in not available, but it's on high priority on my list.
Yeah, same.
Have you guys watched Psycho Pass?
No, but it's been recommended a
Oh
lot.
my. You guys haven't watched this? Psycho
No, I'm
Pass.
sorry. I'm not omniscient.
Psychopath is brilliant. For what it chooses to take, like imagine this. You live in a society, I sound like Shigaraki, but you live in a society where there's this system that determines your worth as a person, what you're good at, what you're bad at, and just decides your path for you. And then
So school.
yeah. And then basically relationships can be replaced so easily. There is no prodigy. No, there is no prodigies or talents. It's just a system governed by. Wait, no, my bad. I can't speak. But yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. And then it takes this very complicated world, and then it tackles it through this young girl who doesn't really know much of the world, but then she grows to become the literal true embodiment of justice. And then we have the antagonist Makishima Shogo, one of my favorite antagonists of all time. He surpassed Griffith. He surpassed the one and only Griffith for me. So, and then Kogami Shinya is also an amazing main character, or second main character, whatever you choose to call him. So yeah, I'm gonna put Psycho-Pass in S. You guys should definitely get on it.
Okay.
Damn, S tier is actually pretty more packed than I expected it to be. But yeah, Kaguya-sama? What do you guys have?
S.
Can't speak on it. I dropped it way too early. So.
Without a doubt, manga, anime. I don't care. S. Both. It's so good. It's so good. I love comedy and I also love romance. Believe it or not, my favorite type of manga are romance manga. Which most people actually don't expect.
Whoa.
For real? For real?
Oh, yeah, I love romance.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. But Kaguya-sama handles it so well. It has such a great cast of characters, and I really do appreciate it because recently in the manga, it's definitely shown its more seinen aspects, if you will, kind of delving into more mature themes, stuff that I don't know would be allowed in a shonen series, and it really goes about it in a good and mature way without being pretentious. You know, it's more like if your mom was trying to give you like some really good advice, more so than anything, right? So it comes off in a very loving and genuine way, which is so brilliant, you know, and hard to pull off sometimes. So, S tier without a doubt.
Yeah, I saw both,
Higher S. You know,
I saw both of the seasons for the anime, and I liked it. It was really good. And as much as I slander it in Discord, saying what is Kaguya-sama without Ishigami and Hayasaka, it is really good. The one problem I have is that the two main characters, Miyuki and Kaguya, are a bit stagnant during the first two seasons. They don't really shine as much as Ishigami or Hayasaka would for me, but I don't really mind it being S. I personally...
they jump their strides though. Well, after that, I'd say, like in the manga, they go some pretty long strides as characters, especially Kaguya.
Yeah, the manga's been on high priority for a long time. I haven't been wanting to pick it up because I have to read from chapter 1 because the anime skips chapters in between, like those battles.
Right.
Yeah, so I think... Yeah,
I remember my brother read the manga and he really liked it. When he got to, what was it, chapter 136, he told like my whole family about it. He really liked it.
Where would you put it in S, Mast?
Well, we need to put it like above 3 Days of Happiness.
Alright. Personally, I'd have this romance anime over here, way over it, but it's fine. Over 3 Days of Happiness. JoJo. I dropped JoJo at part 1.
Are we... Alright, so if we're gonna make this JoJo's, we'll make it parts 1 through 8.
Can I talk? I've watched the entire... I'm caught up to the anime, not the manga.
Yeah, sure, Dice.
Yeah, I mean, you could give your thoughts on just the anime. Although,
Okay.
The two best parts haven't been animated yet.
I know.
So
It's
Aren't
7 and 8, right?
Aren't the
Yeah.
two best parts
Alright.
4 and 7?
7 and 8. Well, 4. I go back and forth on 4 and 8, but I would say 7 and 8 are the two best
Here's
parts.
my thing, right? I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think JoJo was like, at least in retrospect, I don't think JoJo is really amazing until like 4 and 5. I really love 4 and 5. 5 is like a lot of people hate it. I probably just like it because I like love mafia things. If you have the mafia in your story, I'm probably just gonna love it automatically, because that's just how I am. But I didn't like 1 through 3 as much, so I'm gonna go with, based on what I saw, I'm gonna go with like an A. But like Matt said, I've only read up to like the last act of 6, and then I dropped it to read Claymore. So like, you know, kind of just a falling off type of thing. Again, that happens with me a lot. So either way, you know, A, but I feel like it probably will be an S after I read the rest of it, which I do plan on.
I have it at an S.
S.
Let me just say that at an S. It would be high S. It would be below 20th Century Boys, above Kaguya-sama for me. But it's higher S for me as a series.
I think S.
It has a nuts roster. Like when you look at all 8 parts, It's yeah. JoJo fans know. They know what's up.
I kind of feel bad for like. Well, I didn't really drop it. I paused it at part 1, and I really want to continue because anime of part 6 is coming, and then part 9 starting up. So I really want to continue. Steel Ball Run is one of the most anime manga things I'm excited for because everyone says Steel Ball Run is peak fiction. So yeah, I think you said
That word has lost so much meaning, bro.
All right.
I mean, it applies to JoJo's. Don't get me wrong, especially part 7. But my goodness.
Have you guys seen Bunny Girl Senpai?
No.
You haven't?
No.
What about you, Master?
No, I haven't either.
I'm gonna just straight up put it in A. It's pretty good for what it chooses.
This is another thing that my brother really liked. He again told my whole family about it, and like I just never thought, just based on the cover and the title, I'm never checking this out.
It's nothing. It's nothing like the cover and the title though.
I know, but I can't get over the cover and the title.
There's no fan service like this bunny suit only appears like once or twice, and yeah,
that is some
that's not good
mean
either.
marketing. Then
Yeah, that's
that is
not good
false
either.
advertisement. On no, I don't.
I'm reading it for one of two reasons, and it sounds like neither reason is there, if I'm being honest. So.
Right, it's like I'm trying to see some bunny suits. It only pops up once. Never mind.
I bet. Monster. I really need to read or watch this. I
I'm
haven't.
actually reading Monster right now. I really like it.
Top of S. Top.
Yeah, I think it's easily an S tier, from what I've read at least.
Guess nothing more has to be said. Vagabond. Peak fiction. I'd put it in absolute favorite. What about you guys?
I'm fine with that. It's my number 3. So if you have it in absolute favorite, then go off.
It's my number 2. What do you have to say about that, Dice?
Hasn't
Go
read
ahead.
it.
I haven't read all of it, but from what I've read, I liked it. I mean, I can't go against you, but I agree anyway. So
Yeah, that's great. Have you guys seen Monogatari?
Okay, so I'm
Oh,
gonna get
boy.
in trouble for this one. So I saw Kizu Monogatari. I saw a little bit of the movie with some of my homies. I gotta sit down and watch it all the way through because there was one Monogatari. I saw Neko Monogatari all the way, and there was
you watched
one.
Bake.
There was. Which one's Bake?
The first one.
Bake's the first one. Zypher played it for us in VC. Remember?
Yeah. No, and then I was with Energy and I saw Neko. That's the one with Hayakawa or Hayasaka. Hanakawa, my bad.
What?
Her whole thing, right? Which I thought was cool. But there was a Monogatari right before that one that I saw a few episodes of with Energy when we were in VC. Now, mind you, I'm not going to say that I'm ranking it because I can't give a legitimate opinion because I've only seen it in bits and pieces and I've only seen some of the Monogataris fully, but I haven't seen all the movies yet either. So, but whatever the name of that Monogatari was before Neko Monogatari was so repulsive. Like, I don't get the now. Look, this is gonna get me in trouble, but I don't get the purpose of like the weird like kid fan service. Like it's so weird. Like it's literally pedogatry. I don't like it, you know. And then I'm gonna be honest, from what I did see, and again, I'm gonna sit down and watch it all the way through and see if my opinion changes. I think it does cool things with its characters, but I think the only thing I'm willing to give Monogatari is that it has a unique presentation. Other than that, the concepts of which the characters are like founded upon aren't anything special. Like, to me, the plot isn't anything nuts.
Oh, for real?
The characters go through okay developments for me, from the bits and pieces that I saw, but like the only selling point I'd give Monogatari, like the only thing I'd say is top tier about it is its weird presentation. Like, you have to pay attention to every piece of dialogue, because if you don't, then guess what? You're not going to get any of it, so like that's
Actually
just
got
kind of
used
how
to
it is.
that. So I'm lucky I got used to that. I like
Oh yeah, I got used to it too. Like it's cool. But like I don't really. I don't know. From the little bit I saw about Monogatari, I'm gonna have to rewatch it. And because it was not.
Yeah, what's your what is this word? Oh, I can't speak. Your distastes about it they're very understandable. I understand your point of view, but I love Monogatari. The best production I have ever experienced. Studio Shaft did something incredible. Great art style, great backgrounds. Really, yeah, like you said, really unique and weird presentation, but it just works. The soundtrack is freaking phenomenal, and the characters,
The
for what it's
soundtrack is
worth,
dope.
I like the concepts they embody. Like Kaneko, not having a place to go home to and how it affects her. Naruto, I hate Naruto, but I like how she portrays lies and things like that, and shutting out your heart from people and
Right.
hiding what you really believe in. Aragi and
Right.
fake
And then you had Senjo Gahara and all her shit, right? With her path.
I'm not the biggest fan of her character, to be honest.
Neither am I. But I was trying to be positive.
But I like her personality.
I prefer Hanekawa over
Oh,
Senjo
yeah.
Gahara.
Cultured.
I prefer
Cultured.
Hanekawa.
I respect that. Senju Gahara
Yeah.
is just she has a nice personality. She's really distinct, and like, yeah, her personality is really distinct, but her character, it's alright, nothing special. And the rest of the cast, they're pretty great. Aragi's good as a main character. I haven't seen the best part, which is Owari Monogatari, because I don't really want to continue at the moment, but I'll get to it eventually. But from what I've seen, I'd give it like a 9.3, so I think low S or high A is fine. Have you seen it, Dice?
I'm starting the light novels, or I started the light novels, and I liked it, but again, I can't really talk. It was just Bake.
All
The
right.
Monogatari series, like, is huge, so.
You determined where you put it, cause I was just so distasted from what I saw. Like the oh my god.
Yeah, I think
I'm
I
not
think
gonna
high A
speak
is
on it.
fine. Yeah, it does have some questionable scenes that can traumatize some viewers.
Oh,
Like I
remember
said,
that.
I
Wait,
saw.
yeah.
I only saw, what is it? Kizu Monogatari, Neko Monogatari fully, and then the other Monogatari.
Was it Nisei?
Between those two, if it was any, and then the other ones I only saw in bits and pieces, but I didn't like it. Although the movie had a really cool scene with Araragi versus, what is it, Shinobu? I thought that was pretty cool. But
Oh yeah, that was
like I said, I
really
can't give a valid opinion. I was just voicing my thoughts nonetheless.
Damn. Chainsaw Man. It's been a whole
A.
A tier. All right. What about you, Dice?
I haven't read enough to talk on it once again.
It's been a whole year since I've read Chainsaw Man. It's been a long time, but I liked it. Actually, I really liked it. The Assassin's arc, where they're all come to kill Denji, was freaking amazing. Bomb Girl was
Yeah.
great. Makima as
Gun
an
Devil.
antagonist is nice, but as a person, she's just cancer. And then the ending, like, I've seen recently people are praising the Control Devil arc on Twitter and stuff, but I wasn't really too fond of it. I do revisit the last fight between Makima and Denji a few times, but I can't really get attached.
I
to
think
the ending.
it's more so not Makima versus Denji. It's Denji versus Aki. That's like that's the point
That
where
was
everyone
brilliant.
that was the point. I looked at Chainsaw Man and I was like, oh snap, this is a little special, you know. So
Yeah,
I say A nonetheless though.
Yeah, I think A tier is perfect for Chainsaw Man. I think part two, if part two maintains the same chaotic story and executes it to the utmost best, it'll easily be S or even absolute favorite. But yeah, moving on. Bleach. What do you guys have to say about Bleach?
Bleach is A, and I don't care what anyone says about that. It's A. It's deserving of A. It's a story that, I mean, first of all, artwork wise, character design wise, I think there's not many that compete with it, if I'm going to be honest. And I think it's a story that doesn't treat the audience like an idiot. It only does. I said this in my Bleach video. It explains everything, like it spoon feeds you when it comes to the fights. But I think that's due to the fact that the powers are so out there that if you don't, you would just be super confused. It would be like a JoJo's thing, right? Where JoJo's half of the fight is figuring out what the stand is or how it works, right? That's basically like most of the fight, right? But then with Bleach, like when it comes to its actual themes and mysteries, is it builds it up in a way that you kind of miss it until you realize what's going on. And I love that so much. Do I think it's perfect? Do I think it has some things that I wish it did a little different? Yeah, of course. But nonetheless, I think Bleach is a really disrespected manga, grossly disrespected manga that deserves a lot more praise than it gets at times. Definitely deserving to be in the big three. Anyone who says it isn't is an absolute idiot. So yeah,
Yeah,
A tier.
I could actually put Bleach in low S. I love the animals. I love the anime. Soul Society was just straight up action on action, and I love that from start to finish. It was absolutely brilliant. And then of course,
Right.
Ichigo is the main character. He's not the most layered. He's not the most complex main character. But for what he's worth, he's just excellent. And
I think like Ichigo's like such a laid back character that works, and I think even though he quote unquote like may not be the most complex, and whatnot, I think the mystery behind Ichigo is so good. Like I haven't seen a mystery like of a protagonist done almost nearly as like there's a few characters I could say that about, you know?
Yeah. And I think a lot of people could relate to Ichigo if they were put in the same situation as him. And the depression he has post Soul Society, I think it's really well done. So, for what it's worth,
Right.
I'd put Bleach in high A tier. Amazing aesthetic, great power system, amazing fights. Aizen as an antagonist is absolutely brilliant. And the fact that
Ulquiorra.
yeah.
Ulquiorra as well. I actually have Ulquiorra as the number one antagonist in the series. Not a
Grim,
popular opinion entirely, but you know, so
Grimjaw
be it.
2 is just fantastic too. And then I haven't read the Blood War, but I hear the last antagonist. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm not even gonna
Oh,
try.
Yuha. It's pronounced Yuha.
Yuha. All right, yeah. So I think I hear he's pretty good. So yeah, I think high A tier for Bleach is perfect. And I like how Aizen is characterized without a backstory and just remains so goddamn cool. Not to say
Right.
antagonists need a backstory to be great, but the way Kubo does it is just fantastic. All right,
Right.
wait, is Dice still with us? Did he leave or something?
Yeah, Dice is here. He left but came back. We're good.
All right, sounds great. JJK.
Yeah, my connection almost died.
Damn.
But I've read all of Soul Society, so that's like a third of Bleach, which I'm kind of mad because again, that's not quite enough to talk on it. But I agree. I agree with that. Pretty much everything
what
I
do you-
said.
That's the crazy thing is Soul Society is usually like seen as like one of the best arcs, right, in all of shonen. But I think Soul is like the Arankar saga, because I consider it more of a saga because of how long it is, and the Thousand Year Blood War are even like a good bit better for me than Soul Society. So listen, if we want to throw it low S, I'm not gonna hold you. I'm cool with it. I would go high A.
Yeah, I think
would
I'll
go
put it
high,
in.
though.
I'll put it in low S. It deserves it, for sure. All right, what do you guys
One
have to
Piece
say
fans
about
are fuming at the keys right now.
these comments? Gonna
Oh, I
be
can already see the
hilarious.
comments. Why is One Piece in the same tier as MHA and Bunny Girl Senpai? Can't wait.
It would be
Here we go.
hilarious if someone tried to ratio the video, but yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen. What do you guys?
Ratio
have to
these nuts, bitch. You got me messed up.
All right, Jujutsu Kaisen. What do you guys have to say about it?
I am behind on JJK. I stopped after Shibuya incident. Because like it's not that I disliked it. I've just been busy, you know, like reading other stuff,
Yeah.
right? So I think JJK, I have it in the same tier as Chainsaw Man. Whether you have it above and below, I don't care. I definitely do think they are on the same tier though. So I think it's one of those things where JJK does a lot of things. Like it's clear that its inspiration is Bleach and it wears it on its sleeve, which I really like. You know, but it has enough aspects to its story that's unique. You know, Shibuya Incident is a great arc, and the arc before that, the flashback
Past?
arc,
Yeah, that was
is
really
yeah, it's great as well. So from what I've read, like I said, I think it's at least deserving to be in the same.
Yeah, I like Jujutsu Kaisen. I've been caught up since the anime actually got announced, which is like well over a year ago, and it's actually one of the only things I've been reading weekly for so long that I don't get tired of. I'm always excited for the next chapter. Not like with Black Clover or My Hero, where I just wasn't interested and had to pile them up to at least enjoy it. But with Jujutsu Kaisen, I loved it. And yeah, what it does
Right.
with Shibuya is excellent. Toji as a freaking side character is amazing, and his entire premise in the story. Of course, you have Gojo, and Yuji as a main character is honestly pretty underrated. What he goes through in Shibuya and how he deals with morality and killing curses and stuff is excellent. So yeah, I think I'm fine with A tier, just behind Chainsaw Man. What about you, Dice? What are your thoughts on Jujutsu Kaisen?
You can guess.
Hasn't read it.
Oh,
I haven't read enough of it. Yeah, I've read it's funny. I've read like 8 chapters of everything on this list, but like completed like 5 of them. So
damn. Haikyu.
that's just how I do things. I don't know why.
Have you guys seen
Haikyuu, I've only seen season 1.
Same actually.
I saw the first 8 episodes and I thought, all right, this seems good, but it's not the right time to watch it, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think NA is fine for Haikyu.
Okay.
But yeah, Slam Dunk will always be the best sports manga for me, or sports anime manga. Hunter. All right, guys, let me give it to you. Let me give it to you first. Yo, Dice.
Yeah.
Yo, what do you have to
Yeah.
say?
Oh, give it to me. I thought you meant like give it to me as in you're gonna like yell at me. Okay. B.
That's better than I expected.
I don't hate Hunter x Hunter. Why does everybody think I hate it? I love Hunter x Hunter. I
mean-
enjoy watching
I
it. I
mean,
just
no.
hate the fan
B
base.
in the same tier as
People
Black
writing
Clover?
essays. Yeah, I just think it's like a 7 out of 10. And that's
Anime
what B is.
and manga?
Yes.
Caught up manga?
Not caught up to the manga.
Hisoka versus Krollo, Kurapika, honey. What? What? B? For Hunter x Hunter? Listen, okay.
Yes.
Dice, you know you and I both hate how Hunter x Hunter fans think that it's God's gift to shonen.
Yes, I know.
I don't think it's the greatest shonen of all time. I don't. It doesn't.
Yes.
I don't even think it barely makes my top 10 shonen. But I do think it is a great shonen nonetheless. I think it is.
But it's not like it's a V tier series. It's not. It's
No,
like pretty
it is.
average in my opinion. It's not that good. Like Gon is an awful MC. Like he does not do anything
Okay.
interesting.
So Gon's entire transformation, his entire emotional like switch as a kid, none of that was good to
Okay,
you.
first of all, adult Gon was plot armor. You can't convince me otherwise. And second of all, this whole thing
Dog,
about
you
him
know
having
how
there was
character
a
growth-
didn't we just
consequence.
talk about how due to that plot armor thing is? We've had talks about how that plot armor argument is terrible.
And
no,
like,
dude,
there
literally
was
it came out of
actual-
nowhere.
there was actual consequences
There was
to it.
no build up. There was consequences. That doesn't mean it's not plot armor. There was no build up to, like, yes, you're right. Every series has allowances for the main characters so they can do their thing. However, in a series like Hunter x Hunter, where it's apparently perfect, I'm expecting it to have
Okay.
less of those
So
allowances.
here's the thing. So your expectations of it, listen, whatever. But to say it had no build up, bro, come on now. The whole foil it had with Meruem in that entire arc, like, you kidding me, right?
Well, you know my thoughts on Meruem too.
Yeah, you don't think Meruem's a good antagonist either. So
Oh, yeah,
like,
I don't.
I thought about what you said about Meruem as if
I think he's a good like
He
example of a developing antagonist.
he doesn't
like, do I have him?
antagonize
Well, no,
Gon,
no,
but
I'm-
instead
what
he
I'm talking about
antagonizes
is
the
this-
story.
I don't think Meruem's objectively bad. There's no objectively bad ever.
Right,
I
of
just
course.
hate when antagonists do the whole switch side things. Like, I don't like
Oh.
that, and I don't
But he
like.
did it
he's a
so
great
well,
character.
like, it was-
He's a great character. I'm not denying that. He's a great character, great development, great everything. But as an antagonist, I don't like the
Okay,
fact
so
that he never
explain this to
directly
me.
confronts Gon.
How are you a good character, but a bad antagonist when your role as a character is the antagonist? His
His
whole
role-
character is
because-
predicated on his role. All because he
The
switches
thing-
at the end is just like his
He doesn't
development.
switch
as a
at the
character.
end. I don't like how. First of all, I also don't like how he never confronts Gon directly. And again, that's like a thing that I just like to see.
Okay,
I like when
you know what? That I would have liked that too. All right, yeah. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
like
hold
I like to see
But
them
Gon and him
come.
have a really nice dynamic, even though they never meet. Like Gon falls into
That was-
darkness.
Dude, I hate when people say that. You can't say they have a nice dynamic if they never see each other ever. Like,
Well,
no,
they-
you're.
the thing is-
I
the
feel
thing
you're
is
grasping
like,
at
it-
straws when you say that.
The thing is though is like when they're talking about, I wouldn't use the term dynamic, but they do have a foil. Like what you see like Meruem going through and then Gon kind of going through the opposite of that. It's clear that Togashi's trying to offer a mirror type
Okay,
dynamic.
but if I
That
say
is the
Guts and
dynamic, even though
Batman
it's
have
not
great
it's not a
parallel, like-
relational dynamic, right? Like with Guts and Griffith, where their actions directly affect each other. But if not, it's more so like you see the actions of this one character, and yet you see the path of another. So in a way, they do have a dynamic. They're just not like directly involved with each other. So
I don't know. I just don't. I don't like how that whole Gon and Meruem thing was handled. And again, it is more of a subjective thing because I definitely know what I like to see in a villain. However, like I also think Hunter x Hunter is a series. Kurapika, in my opinion, is the best character. I just think it has some very average traits, and I think it's been inflated, the averageness of it, to me because of the amount of people that try and say that it's so much more than that, you know?
okay. So Hisoka's a character. What do you think of Hisoka?
He's probably my favorite villain in the series,
Okay.
I'd say.
Power system.
Oh, great.
Fight.
Those are the fights, not the biggest fan.
What do you think of the atmosphere? Like the entire world and the
World building
vibe of
too
it?
in Hunter x
pretty-
Hunter.
It's pretty normal, both those, in my opinion.
Normal.
All right, look, we're gonna spend too much time on here. Dice, where do you have it? B, right? You have it B,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Okay, Raph,
Yeah, I
where do you
said
have
B.
it?
I have it high S.
I have it high A or low S.
So
know.
it goes an A then.
So then it would have to round out at A, high A then.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Kingdom. I haven't read Kingdom. It's long. And I shouldn't be saying that since I'm reading Ippo, but just
Kingdom, I dropped it
Kingdom too.
after the Coalition arc, but that is a good amount of chapters nonetheless to where I'm at. S without a doubt. From everything that I've read, it's S. It's so good. Like oh man, it is great world building, great protagonist, and it's a series that again, it's like an urgent read. Once you put it up, it's hard to put back down, right? Although I did forcing myself to, by the way, because I was like, I need to read other stuff. But no, yeah, I have Kingdom at S.
right. What about you, Dice? You haven't read it?
I have not read it. Yeah, I have not read it. I want to.
Have you guys seen I Want to Eat Your Pancreas? Or read the manga?
No, I've had it recommended to me, but for obvious, slightly petty reasons, I haven't read it.
No, this is the one thing. The only thing, like I said earlier, I've never cried to an anime under manga. This was the one thing that had me close, but there was I watched it with my family, and then most of them fell asleep while watching it, so that really made me laugh, so I couldn't find myself to cry during it. But yeah,
Right.
Amazing story, amazing message, brilliant female lead. You could argue that the main character is pretty boring, but that's what he's supposed to be. He's a blank slate who learns about life through the main heroine. So yeah, I think middle A's here for this is fine. It's only about like an hour 45 minutes. If you guys are free on the night, you should definitely give it a watch. But yeah, I think that's fine. Fate.
Okay.
Oh, no,
Well, we
Fate.
already covered the entire Fate, so this can just go in not available. Naruto.
Okay, but
What do you guys have to say about that?
Naruto, I also think is A. I have Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece all at A tier. So I'm fine with putting it in A. I think it's a series that has a lot more
Naruto
pros
a
than
lot.
cons. Like it has one of the best shonen villains in Pain. It has a great deuteragonist with Sasuke. I think Gaara, Kakashi. Naruto just has an insane roster of characters when you think about it.
Yeah.
For how much people like to talk about its wasted characters, it has so many that it capitalizes upon that equal out, or if
Yeah.
not, there are more that you could speak of positively. So
Yeah, I'd like to say
I
that.
think Naruto's an A. The fights as well are great. So
Brilliant fights. What about you, Dice? Have you read or watched Naruto?
So I've dropped Naruto 6 times, both through the anime
damn.
and the manga. I want to pick it up again, actually. Again
forgot that
for the 7th time, but I've gotten 30 episodes into the anime and then 16. I got 16, then 30. I've read the manga up to chapter 30 a couple times. I think I should stop restarting every time. Maybe that's why. Maybe I should just keep
that
going
might help you.
because that's probably what I'll do this time. I'll pick it up from chapter 15 because I don't remember the last. I remember what was happening in Zabuza, but I don't remember what was happening with after that.
Yeah.
So I'll pick it up again, but I think the fact that I dropped it so many times, I want to put it in B, but I can't speak on it because I never got far enough into because it's a 700 chapter series. I got I think a max of 50 chapters in one time, so I can't
Oh, yeah.
speak on it.
Yeah.
I grew up on Naruto every day. I remember coming back home from school, I'd turn on the TV and then I'd make sure to rush back home to watch the daily Naruto episode. I loved it. And then as I grew older and got back into anime, I didn't love it as much, but it still has that nostalgia factor on me, so I can put it mid A to low A. Even B is fine, I don't really mind, but I think A is perfect
It's
for Naruto.
it's A. It's not in the same. It's not. Yeah, it's not in the same tier as Black Clover.
Alright, that's
Good
cool.
bit above.
Gurren
Could be above
Lagann
Hunter x Hunter, though.
is
Gurren. Okay, so here's the thing, right? So Gurren Lagann is nuts. As an anime, I think it's great. It's a bit simple, right? And it's what makes it special is how over the top it can be, and it has beautiful themes. I think Simon is a great protagonist, and Kamina is a dope character as well. So with all that being said, I think I'm fine with throwing Gurren Lagann. For an anime, I would throw it in A. Because I don't think what it has to offer is so different from all the other stuff we currently have in A. And people are gonna kill us for having Gurren Lagann and Monogatari and A together, but I think Gurren Lagann is like low A.
I could put it in low S because it has a brilliant start that really hooks you, and then okay, towards the second half it gets significantly worse, but not bad. But then the ending and the entire
I wouldn't say it
battle
gets
against
all
the
that
ants
like
spiral.
significantly worse. I think it's like it's different because Kamina isn't there and things are changing.
Yeah.
You know, like it's no longer the same world that we were used to. You know, I will say though, the strongest part of it for me is the start, so I'm not gonna lie there. But you know,
I didn't enjoy the latter half as much as I did the first, but then the ending just came in and it took away all those feelings I had about the second half being bad. So yeah, I think A is fine.
okay.
It's perfect.
Okay.
I really want to watch this. It's short too, so I'm probably just gonna knock it out really fast. This and Code Geass. I both meant to watch this
Oh, yeah.
summer, and now
Code
I have
Geass
a week
not on
left
here?
and I haven't done either.
Oh, it's actually not. I'd put Kogi.
Code Geass is not on here.
I also
Yeah,
just wanna
Bunny
check
Girl
out the-
Senpai is,
Oh,
ladies and
don't send
gentlemen.
me
Woo!
Also, Yu Yu Hakusho is something I really miss here that I would love to argue for S because I love Yu Yu Hakusho.
I'm surprised
so-
I forgot.
Isn't
that,
it
but-
Hakusho?
I don't know. Also say Chipotle instead of Chipotle, so which I guess.
Yeah,
slandered
don't feel
for a
bad.
while,
I
so-
mispronounce shit all the time. Land of the Lustrous. I
I haven't
can't-
read this.
read like 4 chapters and dropped it because I'm gonna be honest, it needs a colored version for a manga. I might
right,
watch
it
the anime,
does.
but it desperately needs, I think, a colored version.
That and
for-
Claymore. Claymore a lot less, but they
Alright.
need colors.
Yeah, because it's so tedious because you stare sometimes trying to figure out, okay, who is who, because a lot of the characters look very similar, you know. So when
that was my biggest thing.
Yeah.
I haven't read this, but I mean it's about rocks, so I mean I've watched Steven Universe.
So NA, right?
yeah,
I've watched Steven Universe.
yeah.
so-
Land of the Lustrous is a Steven Universe fanfic spin-off.
Oh yeah, you could just
can't
rate it
change my
based off
mind.
that. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah. All right. I'll
It's just
put it in.
Steven Universe went to Hot Topic.
Yeah.
sick.
It is Steven Universe.
Slam Dunk is S.
Yeah. For
Let's
sure.
just
love
let's
Slam
lob
Dunk
the
from
next
what I
two. Let's lob the next two in S. Top of
Yep.
S.
All right.
Yep.
Well, I have Slam Dunk below Real and 20th Century Boys.
Nah, Pun Pun very top. Pun
But
Pun,
Pun Pun is
very
top of S. Pun Pun is
Over
my
Monster?
second
Oh, where's
manga
Flowers
of
of
all
Evil?
time.
But on the tracks. Oh man,
Those aren't really like. I haven't read.
they
them.
aren't. But I want to talk about them.
Well, you can just say what tier you'd put them in. S.
S, yeah.
I haven't read Pun Pun, but I actually don't want to read Pun Pun.
You gotta.
Because you guys told me like it's gonna make you cry. It's gonna make you sad. I don't want to be
It
sad.
might.
No, some people won't cry. Everyone will feel hollow afterwards. Like if you have any sense of,
Have you guys-
investment in the story, there are gonna be moments where you read and you're like, "Fuck."
I mean,
Yeah, a couple.
I've read A Girl on the Shore, which is Asano's most questionable work because it has freaking.
That I heard what it has.
I don't
and that
even-
was disgusting. I don't
Yeah.
even want to read it.
Yeah, you definitely should not read that. So is Pun Pun anything like that? Because I don't want to experience.
It's not as perverse as what I've been told about. That's just shit. My bad. I died. Dark Souls. No, but no, yeah. Pun Pun isn't nearly as bad that way as Girl on a Shore. It doesn't have like that kind of questionableness to it. But it Pun Pun is something else though.
Yeah, maybe one day when I'm like mentally ready for it, I'll pick it up. But right now, I don't really want to experience such a sad story. What do you guys think of
Right.
AOT?
I have it in A.
I have it in
Can't
S.
speak. Dropped it after season 1, so
Man,
very common theme. I don't know
I
if
think
you
S is
noticed.
fine. I haven't read the ending. I don't want to read the ending. I stopped at chapter 124. That's where Eren launches the Titans and stuff, and I really enjoy that. Like,
I think the ending, I have gripes with it. Is when it comes to Eren's character, I think the presentation of it could have been a bit better. But for the most part, I'm fine with it. Like, I'm indifferent. I've always been pretty indifferent towards AOT as a story, anyways. In all honesty, but like
yeah, I don't think the ending is enough to take away from what it built up like during the last couple of chapters. Like the amazing foreshadowing, the storytelling, the entire world, and how the mystery hooked you. I don't know if it hooked you, but it definitely hooked me from episode 1, and I was dying to know what was in the basement, to the point where I even wanted to spoil myself. But yeah, I have AOT, and I think high A will be fine. You guys cool with that?
Yeah, I'm chilling.
All right. Have you guys seen Erased?
My best friend saw it, and I never bothered watching it.
You Dice?
No. I watched one episode. My brother made my family watch this one. And then never picked it up again. So
Erased was the quickest anime I have ever seen. And then I really loved it. It hooked me, and then towards the end, it's not bad, but it's just not satisfying. Like, it really does fit the term ruined by the ending. So I think B tier is fine for Erased. I don't want to dwell on it too much since you guys haven't seen it. Promise Neverland? I haven't seen this. Everyone hypes it up. What do you guys think?
Augie keeps trying to get me into it. I'm too busy.
Damn.
Alright, so NA it is.
Yeah.
Evangelion. The beta mecha anime. I haven't seen it, but what do you have to say?
I'm fine with putting it high A. I think it is a high A series. Yeah, I think it's an A. Even though I disliked it a lot, I think that's the point of it. It's meant for you to dislike it. I think my disappointment in it was because like the expectations were like S, like the best you'll ever see, better than Code Geass, like, you know, type of thing. Yeah. And there's a lot of people who probably have it over Code Geass, but it's one of those things where it's like it's pretentious fandom can get a little bit overbearing, right? But as an actual anime, I think it is. I think it's solid though with what it tries to do. So I'm actually like low A on it, honestly, for Ava personally.
And you?
I haven't watched it. My friend recently rented at a theater to stream the new movie, and he invited me, but I hadn't watched it, so I couldn't go. I'm still tight about it. That's the only reason I said that. But besides that, no, I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I don't really think Evangelion is on high priority for me, because I was once on YouTube and like something came up in my recommended, like Asuka and Shinji, and they're busy kissing and stuff. Don't ask me why that was there. And then in the comments, I see all these fans saying, "Wow, this scene is so deep. Look at Asuka. She's like begging for attention and the need for love and stuff." And I'm just like, bro.
I can say though, the one thing I love about this fandom is that I've never seen one of them. Like, all they talk about is how they're all sad virgins, and like I just think that's hilarious. So
man,
I like that I can respect.
All right, so I think where would you put it, Masked? Mid A?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Sounds good. Berserk. I mean, do we need to say anything?
No, we don't. Absolute favorite.
Yeah, it is. You're
top,
right.
Top of absolute favorite.
I read
without
Berserk
a doubt.
when I was like 13, and I still came to appreciate it. Like, even with the pagan orgies and all of that stuff, I love Berserk.
I had to reread it because I read it when I was 12, and I didn't really get it. So
you didn't?
I wonder why. Nah, but look, if throw Pun Pun up an absolute favorite.
yes.
All right.
Yes.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go Berserk, then Vagabond, then Pun Pun. For the sake, those who know why will know.
I'd put
Then
Full
Bakuman?
Metal. I'd put Full
No,
Metal.
listen, just go with it for the meme. I'm not saying that series is, but if you have Full Metal above it, that's fine. Just yeah.
All
For
right,
the sake of the
gotcha.
meme, thank you.
Can you put Full Metal at the end too?
No. I'd
What a boss.
Made in Abyss. I haven't seen this. Like, everyone.
I think it's
Same.
a high A. I think it's so good, man.
Everyone
Like, it's
talks
actually
about how
such a good
the
manga,
world
bruh.
building is.
Yeah, no, it's one of the best. And it also has a really great antagonist in Bondrewd.
The art style also looks like really cool. It's very distinct, and I like the shading and how he draws it. It's really cool. Is it on hiatus?
Yeah.
I think.
Oh damn.
You know I can't have good luck when it comes to series.
Yeah. Demon Slayer.
I think B. High B.
I'd put it
I
in
think the
B.
anime is great, but I think the anime needs to cover more. Once the anime covers all of it, I think it'll easily be an A tier. But you know, because we only have that segment of it in the anime and the rest is the manga, which I think the manga is just okay. Yeah, I say high B.
You Dice? What do you have?
I've watched half of it, so if I can speak on
You
it,
can
I
speak on it.
agree. So
Oh,
yeah, I agree.
I'd put it in D. I'm not even. Like, it just.
wasn't that bad.
like,
It was
I
fun
like
at
the
least.
animation. That's all. Like, an unpopular
No, but
opinion.
it has some good characters. I think like
No.
the characters are fun and the fights are solid. But Akaza you get to later.
he's cool.
But Akaza's a really good character. You know, so and Tanjiro's an okay protagonist. I enjoy
Inosuke is,
the whole thing with that. And
You'll
Nezuko
hear me
was pretty
say this with series a lot because, like I said before, I'm not that hard to please, but like, it's just I enjoy it. Like, it's just enjoyable to me, you know. So
Yeah.
if I enjoy it, it's just gonna be in B tier. If I think it's really good, it'll go higher. But that's like the bottom. Pretty much all the series I've ever seen go in some form of like a B tier kind of 7 out of 10 for me because like I just enjoy most things.
Yeah. I mean, I like the animation. Animation is cool, but it doesn't offer me anything else. Like, Inosuke as a side character is great. Zenitsu, a lot of people hate Zenitsu, but he's just fine. I don't mind him. He's annoying at times, but he's just fine. Tanjiro's okay. The Hashira are cool. I would have liked if they were shown a bit more, but yeah, I think B tier for Demon Slayer is fine. You guys agree?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Yeah.
Last one, Vinland Saga. What do you guys have to say?
Villain's ass.
Yeah, I read the equivalent of season 1 in the manga, so and I would say the same thing.
I only saw season 1. Yeah, I'd put it in S. I really loved Askeladd as an antagonist. Thorfinn was great. Yeah, all around amazing series.
Woo!
Yeah, that was a mistake. So, top of S, or what do you have to say?
I have it below Monster for sure. The rest I
I'd
don't
say
mind.
below Slam Dunk personally, but I just really enjoyed Slam Dunk from what I read. So
Yeah, that's about the end. Tier list actually came out much better than I expected. Hunter x Hunter should have been higher, but it is what it is.
I agree with. Actually, we could still move that. I think Hunter x Hunter should be above
I
Tokyo
hate both of
Revengers.
you.
It should be above Tokyo Revengers.
I
I
hate
have
both
below
of
One
you.
Punch Man, but
Sorry,
I
guys.
definitely have Hunter x Hunter above Tokyo Revengers.
I
There we
dislike both of you.
And I do not care, son. I do not care.
I gotta thank Dyson Mass for coming out for the tier list. This was really fun. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Comment down what you thought about the tier list. I'm really happy with how it came out. And yeah,
Please comment in support of Hunter x Hunter being B tier.
yeah. And what do you guys comment down about what you guys think of One Piece's placement and how high Bleach is? Yeah, please comment about that. So yeah, stay safe, take care. Subscribe to Dyson Mass channels there in the description. We're out. Peace.